is the newest Pixar movie that has gone to Disney Plus instead of theaters. Disney. Why is Disney discriminatory against Pixar? 13-year-old May is experiencing the awkwardness of being a teenager with a twist. When she gets too excited, she transforms into a giant red panda, which I thought was a giant red cat, not a panda. I think there's going to be a narrative going around with this movie that people aren't going to be able to relate to it because A, they weren't that generation, or B, they weren't that generation and they weren't a girl. I don't know. People are crazy. Even though the story is about a young girl who is starting to come of age, she turns 13. There were things that were relatable in this movie for me, and that was a huge surprise. And it uses this metaphor of dealing with your anxieties of growing up and being that hormonal teenager as a way of, it's like using that red giant panda that is so fluffy and cute as a way to mask everything that teenagers feel, or that you yourself are feeling if you were ever put into this situation. Because let's just face it, when we're teenagers and we start to feel like this, we don't want to tell anybody. So I can see the movie being very relatable for a lot of people like that. We also have some things in this movie in terms of the hormonal stuff. I mean, there's a fictional boy band in this movie called Four Town, and this group of friends that is friends with the main character. They're just going all nutsy and crazy for this boy band. This movie has to show that adults have to learn to accept that their kids are growing up, because I think also adults just hang on to the past a little bit too much. But it is also proof that you have to move forward in life. And it is also a metaphor for being comfortable in your own skin. The whole message of this movie is about how you can be comfortable, why being different isn't necessarily a bad thing. We're all weird in our own little ways. No matter if you think you're perfect, because you're not. Nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. And this movie is here to tell you every single little detail about that, and to prove to people who think that they are probably God's perfect idiot or something, that no, you gotta come back down to earth, because that's not who you are. You are somebody who makes mistakes. You are somebody that is going to feel these different types of emotions and feelings, even though you're telling yourself that you're not. It's going to happen. And this movie is a perfect example of that. This movie justifies its message and its reasoning behind all of that through all these different metaphors. The animation here, once again, is very, very photorealistic. My God, Pixar just keeps knocking it out of the park with their animation. They just get better with each movie that they release. The next one's going to look even better, I bet. Like, Lightyear is going to look even better. The one after Lightyear is going to look even better. I mean, I've said so much about the animation of Pixar movies in the past that I really don't have anything new to say other than it still just looks freaking amazing. This is honestly sort of a trip down the nostalgia lane or memory lane, even though I'm not a girl. Like, I could still see some things and be like, yeah, remember back in the day, in like the mid 2000s to late 2000s, where Nickelodeon, Disney, maybe ABC Family had all those shows that were geared towards young tweens or about middle school, high school life, but they were also trying to turn all of its stars into pop stars. You remember those times? A lot of those shows were popular for people my age and my generation, and just seeing that brought me back to those types of memories. And it was awesome to see something like Boggle. Anybody ever play Boggle? I have Boggle. I love that thing. This movie was able to invoke memories of yesteryear. Watching something like on Nickelodeon, Drake and Josh. Drake Bell became a musician, but also became an asshole. It's also a movie that has a lot of commentary on social media and who we look up to at that age, because pop stars like that on TV shows like Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, all of that stuff that was the mid 2000s that turned everybody into pop stars. Those were the idols we looked up to. We looked at their lifestyle. We watched them on TV. They were the ones we wanted to be. Maybe not me necessarily, but my generation. I know that that's how it is, and it's even more prominent now. Especially when it comes to social media, we see lifestyles and Instagram models and all that, and it's like the way we dress now is modeled after what we see on social media. This movie is a social commentary on all of that, and it fits into the movie so well with the age group and the age demographic that this movie is geared towards, while having that nostalgia factor for adults like me and humor for adults. That's what a great animated movie has to do. If there's one issue I have with Turning Red, it's that May's father seems like at one point that he is going to become a major player in this story. And because there's a scene where he has a heart-to-heart with his daughter, but then nothing really ever comes of that. It's like he just flips a switch and turns back to the other side real quick. It's not like he's a bad father or anything. The heart-to-heart means a lot. And he doesn't have that much dialogue throughout the movie, but when I see something happen in the next scene and he's partaking in that event, it really contradicted that heart-to-heart for me. So that was my really only story, script, narrative issue that I had with Turning Red. I thought that this was a phenomenal movie with great social commentary, somewhat of a trip down memory lane, and relatable for people of my generation that went through things like this, whether you were a boy or a girl. I'm going to say I really enjoyed Turning Red with a full bucket of popcorn. It's out on Disney+. It's a shame it didn't get released in theaters. I really wished it did, because I would have loved to have seen this one in theaters. So if you have seen Turning Red, what did you guys think about it? Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.